Good morning, good people. Welcome back to the Positive Living Center. Welcome to you, those here present with me and those on Zoom. Do we have anybody new this morning, Rev, or on Zoom this morning?
We have somebody new here.
Not on Zoom,
I'm
though.
talking about Zoom.
No, I think we know all of those.
I'm the real thing.
We'll get to the live people next. Okay, so we got all.
Can't hear Joe very well.
Veterans.
Oh, how about now?
Yeah, better.
Okay, I'll try to speak into the microphone. Who do we have here for the first time this morning? Will you raise your hand, please? How about the lady right behind you, and then you're next? Would you mind standing, please, and giving us your name?
Yep.
You're last.
Yes, my name is Taraka Barngrover. I'm located here from Ohio, where I was CSL. And my daughter and I are living in Ponderosa Basin, which is a little way from here, but not too far. So I'm happy to be here.
Thank you, Taraka. It's nice to meet you. Thank you. And the young lady right in front of her.
Hi, my name is Gail. I live in Mariposa. I moved up here from San Diego, so I'm looking forward to being here today. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Welcome, welcome. Anybody else? Everybody else looks very familiar to me. That's great. We are in the heart of August. Today is our healing service. We'll get to that later in our program. It's always something we always enjoy together. The topics and themes for the month of August are effect, form, and objective. And our musician for today is John LaLonde, and I'd like to invite John up to play a little something for us while we get set for meditation this morning. Just taking a few moments for ourselves to just get settled in and relax. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous day.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So I'll play for a little bit, and then we'll just hopefully seamlessly transition into
Can't hear you, John.
meditation. I'm sorry?
Can't hear you.
Can't hear me. Can you now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sit back and relax. God's Spirit for this time together this morning. As we listen to our speakers and the beautiful music from John LaLonde, as we talk about effect, form, and objective, we are all here on purpose this day, as we are each and every day, through God's Spirit, connecting with each other. I give thanks for this morning. Thanks for us to be together, to enjoy fellowship with all. Thank you, God, for this and so much more. And so it is. Thank you, John. It's time for a spiritual thought. So I thought I'd ask Reverend LaLonde Bull if she'll come up and give us a little spiritual thought. Good morning.
Hola. Let's see here.
Oh, yeah. Okay, bring the mic down to me. Into the microphone. There we go.
Now a little to your left,
Now a little to my left.
so you can be in the
A little
picture.
more in the picture.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. It's good to see you. Oh. Let's see, those are the notes for the labyrinth. We're very excited about September 22nd. Usually the equinox and the solstices, they happen kind of like midweek Tuesdays, Thursdays. We're all hard in about Sunday services before those changes of the seasons. And this time it actually falls on Sunday. So it'll be September 22nd on Sunday. Getting it ready for you. That's not the talk though. Okay, here we go. All right. You remember the themes for this month? Form, effect,
Objective.
objective.
Or objective, so.
Yes. We do the chants afterwards lately, and it has been so lovely being in the circle with you, doing the chants, experiencing the making sound, talking about the chakras, these energy centers of our being. I've come to believe over time that the energy centers of our being, these spheres or these spinning orb experiences that are the energy of us in all the dimensions that can show up. I've come over time to feel that it's as we become centered and at home and in the temple of our being, the Spirit gets to play us like an instrument that's tuned. That nothing is obstructing, interfering, resisting, running, hiding, fighting. That we are the beautiful verse of the universe. In the sixth chakra experience, because that's the one we're going to be chanting about after service, so I thought I'd bring it in. There's a lot of ideals that come forth. What is our ideal? What is the ideal? What is the vision? And comparative thinking can be involved as we get grounded. Comparative, not this, closer to that, not that, closer to this, not this, closer to that. And it works for being an athlete, it works for being a graphic artist, it works for a lot of things that we do in this creative world that we live in. And there is one ideal that we all are calling forth, and that is that awakened awareness of our communion with what already is. And if we didn't have any interest in that, we wouldn't be here. I mean, like, here. So, speaking of that ideal, to be awake to our oneness. Can't think of a better objective that shows itself in form, that shows itself in the effects of everything we look at. That's my play on the themes for this month. And so it is.
Thank you, Lord. We're going to have another song by John LaLonde. Let's give him some more love, huh?
I'm going to use a backing track that was put together by Suzanne Tang, T-E-N-G, and her husband, Gilbert Levy. If you have Spotify or Pandora, try Suzanne Tang if you like kind of floaty, meditative sort of music. This is a backing track using a hang drum. Hang, the brochure that comes with this backing track, says that that is a Swiss German word for hand. It's the sort of metal drum that looks like a satellite. You may have seen them on things. It has a great sound. You play it with your hand and your fingers and various parts of your hand. In the liner notes to this, they say that it is a very dreamy thing. So we will see if it has that effect.
relaxing, John. It's beautiful.
Thank you.
I hope our speaker's still awake because I'd like to have Rev Kim Haley come up and give us a talk.
Okay, yeah. Good morning.
Is that not low enough for you?
That was very mellow. I like mellow these days.
Okay, am I in the right position?
Yes.
Can everyone hear me? Good morning. I'm actually here, not down the rabbit hole anymore. I was down the rabbit hole with these terms, but they're all explained pretty well in the science of my book. And then the application of that is what I was looking at. And effect actually caught me because effect is a physical manifestation of the first cause. If you call it first cause, it's another word for God, divinity, the all that is, or isness. And the isness of everything is felt and experienced by us in our bodies, which is a gift. It's very much a gift. So the other day, when I was contemplating what am I going to speak about here that's going to make sense and going to make you feel okay and maybe understand some of the words that we use. So I thought about consciousness, and I also thought, I had this urge to go pick up a flute, go outside, and play to my little garden. Now in my garden I have some tomato plants, I have some basil, I have some chives, and my tomato plants shot straight up, and now they are doing something weird that I don't understand. And I went, wow, it's taking a long time, but mind you, it took me a while to get them in there, to put them in. So I thought I'm going to play out in the garden because also it was a beautiful day. And it uplifted my spirits. I didn't feel like I was stuck in the house anymore because it was hot. So I went and I played the flute, and I felt what we just felt listening to John, or when we do the chanting. We feel this relaxation, things seem to float away. We get onto that, we vibe with that, and we flow, and we feel better. We feel better for that sort of thing. Now, effect is what my daughter would say when I had a conversation with her. She and I had an argument. And she said, effect is an outcome, effect is an action, effect is this. I go, actually, it's both. And it's not because don't you mean affect? I said, no, I mean effect. And I mean it in a different way. I mean it from how we look at it here in the science of mind. And I said, it is the result of this animating energy that's in the universe. It's the result of that. And so we had a kind of disagreement, and then she came on board and she just laughed. We just laughed at each other because we're trying to always prove who's right. We have to let that go sometimes. So we do. So after playing the flute, I had so many different ideas, but one of the, I thought about consciousness. How do we explain consciousness? And because I go down the rabbit hole a lot when I do these talks and I want to really unearth things or get to the bottom of something, it can get complicated. And it really isn't. It really isn't complicated at all. But I can make it so. And I decided that I wanted to read you a story that it's a human story. It's part of this talk because it came to me and said, read this. And also I got some emails, one from Judy, Reverend Judy, who said, keep it simple. Keep it simple. And then Todd said, have fun this morning. Tell everybody you love them. I go, I do love them. Maybe I don't tell them often enough. I do love everybody here. It's a wonderful place to come. It's a wonderful place to see people's faces and to feel connected. And that's how we feel when we do we're going to do the labyrinth, when we do chanting, when we have these talks, when we sit and listen to the flute, because that's all there is now. We become that, which we listen to, and what we put our attention on. So I want to read this story, and I will read it for you now. It's about 4 minutes long, and it's about the Native American flute. And this is a flute that I found recently. Stephen had a ton of flutes, and for those who don't know, Stephen made flutes, and he's no longer with us on the planet, but his flutes are still here. And this is to represent a woodpecker, because the woodpecker is very intrinsic to the story, and actually the motivator. So. And it's written by Carol Proudfoot Edgar. She told it. I don't think it's written. She's telling the story, so she put it in her words. And she talks about ancient stories and stone carvings indicate that the flute, like the drum and the rattle, has been made and played for tens of thousands of years. These instruments have always been considered gifts from the spirit. Oral tradition often conveys the circumstances under which these gifts came to the people. Details of the stories vary since the spirits of the land vary. Types of trees, different birds, animals. This story comes from the Lakota Sioux. Cedar flutes of modern design are thought to have been used first by the Sioux. So it's called the first flute. If you want to close your eyes, you can close your eyes and go within. Long ago, a young man saw a young woman in his village and longed to find some way to talk to her. He was too shy to approach her directly. She was the daughter of a chief, and it was well known that she was very proud. Many men tried to court her, but she sent them all away. One day, this young man, went on a hunting trip. He found the tracks of an elk and began to follow them. Although he caught sight of it now and then, the elk stayed far ahead of him, leading him away from the village until he was deep in the hills. Finally, night came and he made a camp. He was far from home, and the sounds in the night made him feel very lonely. He listened to the owls and the rustling of the leaves, the creaking of the tree branches, and the whistling of the wind. And then he heard a sound he had never heard before. It was a strange sound, like the call of a bird, and yet different from any bird. It sounded as if it came from the land of the spirits. Strange as it was, that call was also very beautiful. It was like a song, and he listened closely to it. Soon he fell asleep and dreamed. In his dream, a red-headed woodpecker came and sang that strange and beautiful song. Then the woodpecker spoke. "Follow me," it said. "Follow me, and I will give you something. Follow me. Follow me." When the young man woke, the sun was bringing early morning light. There in the branches of the tree above him was the red-headed woodpecker. It began to fly from tree to tree, stopping and looking back. The young man followed. Finally, the woodpecker landed on the straight, dead branch of a cedar tree. It began drumming with its beak on that hollow limb, which was full of holes made by the woodpecker. Just then a wind came up and blew through the hollow branch. It made the song that the hunter had heard. The hunter saw what he should do. He climbed the tree and carefully broke off that branch. He thanked the red-headed woodpecker for giving him this gift, and he took it home to his lodge. But he could not make it sing, no matter what he did. Finally, he went to a hilltop and fasted for 4 days. On the 4th day, a vision came to him. He must shape one end of the flute so it looked like the open mouth of a bird. He must carve a block in the likeness of the woodpecker and fasten it with a reed and thong in a certain way near the other end of the branch. Then, when he blew into that end of the flute and covered the holes with his fingers, he would be able to play that song. The man did as his vision told him. He carved the flute so that it looked like the head and open mouth of a bird. He attached the likeness of the woodpecker with a reed and thong, and when he blew into the flute, it made music. Then he began to practice long and hard, listening to the sounds of the wind and the trees, the movement of the waters, and the calls of the birds, making them all part of his playing. Soon he was able to play a beautiful song. Now when he hunted and camped far from the village, he had his flute with him and could play it to keep himself company and call the spirits of the land to help him. Finally he knew that he was ready to visit that young woman he had liked so long from afar. He went and stood behind her lodge and played his best song on his flute. She heard the song and came out into the moonlight. She went straight to where he was playing. She walked up to him and stood close to him, and he lifted his blanket and wrapped it around them both. So it was that the young hunter became the husband of the chief's daughter. He became a great man among his people. Ever since then, young men who wish to go courting have learned to make the cedar flute and play those magical songs, to give honor to the red-headed woodpecker that gave such a special gift. Many of those flutes were shaped like the open mouth of a bird with the likeness of a woodpecker attached to one end. For those who practice and play the flute has continued to reveal its magical powers for singing songs of the spirits, for singing love songs to all creatures, and for piercing with joy the heart of the flute player. Creativity is God's gift to us. Using our creativity is our gift to God and to nature and to ourselves. I watched a documentary as well this weekend, and it was a glimpse into the unknown, a glimpse into life. And the biggest question they asked is, what is life? What is life? That's a big question. If you've got a couple of decades, I could stand here and we could try to describe what that is. But it's very difficult. And many of the people, well, all of the people except for maybe one woman, which she was also a therapist, were PhDs working, some of them in neurobiology, some of them looking at that, trying to discover what's going on in the brain. And the scientist that talked about that, and it's some guy I won awards, it was wonderful. I just keep going back over it. Because what they are saying is that I can know all these things about what the brain's doing. I can look, we have big high-powered technologies to go in microscopes and look at them. And he said it is fascinating. And even the brain between a mouse and a human, after a while, because they do thin slicing of the brain, it's not that different. We're not that different. So there is a connection there, and that's the biggest thing. People are looking for connection, and the biggest connection is that we get to feel. Is that we get to feel things, that we can be inspired, but we always feel it here in the body. We feel it in the body.
But how much do you know about Chris? Clear sound was struck.
Chris, please mute.
Nope.
I thought, did I mute? Anyway, it's about feelings. And this one PhD, who's the head of his department in Seattle, Washington, said, you know, I can write all these things down and I can analyze where all of this stuff goes, but I wake up in the morning and I'm not sure why I feel inspired or happy or sad. I'm feeling. And he even mentioned, I believe, we are all wondering about AI these days, artificial intelligence. And he said, well, these things, these AI things will be able to do things, but they're never going to know or feel them. And that's the other thing. We are unique in some ways. I mean, animals also feel things, but we are aware that we're aware. And that's what I came away with. With all of this, we are aware that we are aware. We have a body that we experience things in, and we feel them. When we say words like deeply, maybe we just feel them strongly. I don't even know what word that is, but we feel different feelings. When we look at the sky, the night sky, I used to look at the northern lights when I lived in Alberta, Canada, and I was blown away. And I had that experience of feeling connected to something that was much bigger than me. The effect I felt in my body, the effect of light, the effect of love, the effect of a lot of different kinds of emotions we get to feel in our bodies. And even thoughts that I read in a book, or I get a self-realization, I realize something from reading that, I am grateful for that. And playing the flute, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful we have the community where we can connect and we can try to play, we play what we can play. We are the animating force when we breathe into the flute that brings it to life. Like the wind was for this young man in his story. And he felt an urge to understand, he wanted to understand something about the feelings he was having. So he went by himself up into the mountains, and he camped. And he was given a gift. He was ready to receive it. He was open to it. And I think that is the question. Are we open? Because the gift is always there. It's always there. Are we open for that? And it's okay if you're not at that point, because that doesn't go away. It will come back when you are. It's always there. So you will be connected to that. You will be held by that. You will not be alone. And you are loved. Thank you. I don't ever pack light.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you very much. We are never alone, and we are, I believe, affected by everything around us. It's beautiful, beautifully said. As I said, this is our healing service, and it's our service to occur at this time. I'd like John LaLonde to come up. I'll ask John to play a little background music for us. In our healing service, we get an opportunity to think of others that might need a prayer from us. Might need a thought from us in their world. Those of you who would like to come forward and circle in front of the stage area here, please do so now. And those who wish to remain seated is fine too. And those on Zoom can simply close your eyes and be still. And think of someone or some people that might need a prayer from you, a thought from you. We're always beautiful people. It's wonderful. If you're thinking of someone, please speak their name out loud.
Zoe.
Bob.
Marissa.
If we have ministers and practitioners that wish to speak, please do so now.
Loving energy flowing through us fills us with healing, kindness, the opportunity to shift and change old habits, bringing together the joy of being alive, being with Creator, being here with nature.
Our spirit is one with you, Great Spirit. You who strengthen us day and night, and to share our very best with our brothers and sisters. Show your love for us. Help us to know, like the soaring eagle, the heights of knowledge, and from the four directions. Fill us with the four virtues: fortitude, generosity, respect, wisdom, so that we may help all people walk in the path of understanding and peace.
And now take a moment for yourself to pray for yourself, for any healing that you feel needs to be healed right now.
Infinite eternal presence, knowing beyond knowing, peace beyond peace, beyond time and space, and its fullness and its allness and its possibility and its potential, and yet showing
realize that we can open up to all the bliss that is always available for us every minute, every day, every week. We will feel that we have connected to something very deep inside of ourselves. And we feel pretty good.
We are all blessed to be together at this very moment with God, with each other. Our prayer for others and prayer for ourselves. It's all God. I thank you for this time together. Let a healing begin. Let a healing continue for any and all who may be seeking that. Power of prayer. Power of community. Thank you, God, for this and so much more. And so it is. Thank you, John. I was mellow before I got to service this morning, and I think I'm even more mellow now. Gosh, what a wonderful feeling this morning. And the weather's beautiful. We're all feeling the difference of nature around us. It's just been beautiful. It's time for our offertory. I'd like to ask two people to come up and give me a hand with that, please.
Come on, here, come on up.
Hi, children. Let's do our tithing prayer. Divine love flowing through me, blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. Thank you. Aren't they cute?
Don't make me start really.
You don't have to.
You don't have to.
It is.
Those on Zoom, I know you know how to give tithings to the PLC. If you have any questions, contact Reverend Miss. Thank you. You just walked away from your partner, huh?
Oh, sorry.
I'll lock her up for you.
So you get there safe. I'm obviously more mellow. Like Joe.
Wasn't I just talking about you?
He calls us out.
That was rude of me to call you guys out. I couldn't help it. Announcements. First of all, I just wanted to say I stopped by the church the other day. I needed to do a couple things in here, and when I was here, Karen Stewart and Daniel were here working in the garden areas, and it was just a nice surprise to see them out there. You're always seeing something outside looking so beautiful, and it's because of their hands and the hands of Steve as well. So let's give them a round of applause. That's community to me. It's beautiful. Other announcements? Reverend Bob, want to come up here? So they can hear you clearly.
Thank you. So just want to remind everybody, Saturday, September 7th, half the time I get that wrong, 9:30 I'll be having a seminar on early Gnostic Christianity and how it relates to New Thought. So I do have handouts. If you're wanting to attend, please let me know, so I'll have a handout for you. Thank you.
Do you have a sign-up sheet?
I don't. Jean asked me if I had a sign up. So we'll work it out. Let me know and we'll get there.
And Joe?
Boy, everybody's calling everybody out this morning. Yes, LaLonde?
I'd like to dovetail on that, to just remind you that the weekly iFocus that you will get, the weekly iFocus that you get, you can, if you have friends that you think might be interested in Bob's talk, forward that. Just forward it right to them. Let them know about Bob's talk, was thinking about you, and let's get more attendance if we can, just by spreading the word a little bit.
And they can also email me from the iFocus, right?
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Because there's a linky. If you haven't touched the links, anybody here not touched the links in the iFocus? Just look at it, but don't ever touch the link. Oh, wow.
I'm not good.
You don't touch the link? I'm not gonna touch that. No, if you haven't, I just want you to know, instead of having everybody's phone numbers and email addresses visible, what we do instead is have the link for everyone. You just touch the link. You will not only be able to start an email immediately if that's your intention, you also have the phone number to give them a call.
Yes.
It's sitting in the subject line for every single person that's got a link on with their name. So, touch the link.
And for those of you who have not signed up for iFocus and would like to, right toward the bathrooms, there is a sign-up sheet there for the iFocus. If you'll fill out the information, LaLonde will get you on there as well. The iFocus is a great way to stay in touch with everyone here and all the happenings going on with the PLC. And Reverend Judy had a question or something?
No.
Now Joe have a question.
Oh, I have a question?
I have a comment.
You have a comment?
I have a comment.
Give us a comment.
On the second Saturday of every month, we have a flute circle that starts at 1:30, and that's for the beginners. So if you'd like to learn how to play the flute, we have flutes available, and it's taught by John LaLonde and Kim Haley. So beginners stay with the wise ones that have been practicing, and we learn a new dynamic of a harmony that is held within our breath. And that goes until 3:30. And at 3:30 we set up for the drum circle, and we bring out the big mother drum, and we play till 5 or 5:30. And you don't have to have a drum. You don't have to be indigenous Native American. This is a gift to the community to show that we are all connected in some dynamic, and your origin has nothing to do with that harmonic, that frequency. So we have drums and rattles and good people. And part of that is sharing what we have together here at the Positive Living Center. Thank you.
Thank you, Judy. Other announcements? Oh, there's one up there. Come on up here, big guy.
Keep going with Oakchella. September 14th will be Oakchella Music Festival. It's going to be a great event, raising funds for the new teen center that my club is working on opening up to give our teenagers somewhere to go and stay out of trouble. So it's going to be a great event. We have a lot of great music lined up. And doors open at noon. It will be going to 10 p.m. So everybody after the flute and drum circle, there will still be plenty of music going on. So don't deter that. You can come on out afterwards. We're going to have a lot of food vendors, a lot of homemade crafts and stuff vendors like that. Inside stage is going to be an open mic style. So it'd be great to have you come over and anybody else that's interested. and playing, and yeah, it's going to be a great event, and hope to see everybody out there.
Where is it?
It's over at the Oakhurst Community Center, and it's $20 to get in.
Ish.
She just gave me the. And yeah, thank you. I hope to see everybody out there.
Thank you. So many things happening in and around us. It's fabulous. Anybody else? Announcements?
We always accept donations.
Oh, yes. Good. Accept donations. There you go. Alrighty then.
Oh,
For those.
just a reminder, chants afterwards. Okay, that was it.
He's still mad.
Okay. For those of you who would like prayer after service today, we have practitioners and ministers available to you. Please just look around or ask for them, and we're here for you. So if you like a prayer. Also, we have a frog box in the back corner, and you can fill out a prayer request for yourself or others and leave it in that box. I collect those and I put that out to all the ministers and practitioners each and every week. Okay? Next week's speaker is Reverend LaLonde. Is that right, LaLonde?
I'm covering for you, yes. Because you asked me to.
This has been a tough service. Let's do our prayer protection, please. The light of God surrounds me. The love of God enfolds me. The power of God protects me. The presence of God watches over me. The energy of God is me. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. Indeed. John, you got one more song in you?
I do.
Good. John is an absolute gift, isn't he?
Yes.
You all are gifts. And let's thank that red-headed woodpecker for these wonderfully simple yet expressive and fun to play things. We heard a little about Stephen. I'm going to use a backing track from Stephen's. Stephen DeRuby has passed on. He was a singer, songwriter, flute player, flute maker, and wonderful teacher and wonderful person. It was really a big piece of the music scene at the PLC a while ago. He also made a backing track of rhythms to play along with native flute. The Flute Circle has used a few of them over time. I'm going to use number 10, and I call this number 10 prepared at your table.
and give us a close.
What a great morning. Between John and the speakers and just the glorious day of the healing service, it just feels so powerful in here this morning. And I know in the presence of this healing power that all is made well. That God is, we are, and we speak our truth. We look people in the eye, we share, we love, we care. And the world is a better place because each of us is doing our own healing and making the world different. I'm so pleased that we've all joined together to do this together. And say with me, please, and so it is.
Thank you all. Hope you have a great, great week. We'll see you next Sunday.